grandfather, his name was Peter Wilson. He was a self-styled minister, and he lived in our home for about 5 years. He lived in our home.
5 years.
He died instantly. He didn't have a long illness. It just a few days and he was gone.
And he died at age?
At age, what, 80, I'd say about 83 or 4.
Oh, 83 or 4.
Yeah,
okay.
long in the air. Uh-huh.
And that was in the
It was in the
early
30s. Yeah, because we moved we lived in, well, my family and my grandpa and grandma lived in the same little area in what they call the Cotton Belt of McIntosh County in Oklahoma. And so the year that my grandma passed, Grandpa joined with us, but then we moved on the very coldest and the worst stormy day in that year. That was the 1925, when ice was on the ground more than an inch.
Woo.
And it was so cold, the moving wagons, we didn't have no trucks. Each moving wagon had a fire can. They had fire for us to keep warm. And the mules, most of the mules in that area, they put horseshoes on them. The mules. So I can remember them walking and sliding.
And an inch of ice.
About an inch. It may have been a little thicker than that. But it was a bad day we moved. It was falling. And still the mules and the horses that pulling the wagons. They were slipping here and there.
Ooh.
And here and then. I remember we rode in wagon with my father, but there were about 3 wagons helping us move. And they slipped and slided. We had about 12 or 13 miles to go.
13 miles?
About 12 or 13 miles to go to move from where we were to the new place.
It must have taken you all day or more.
Almost.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And we moved from a pretty nice house location. And when I won't forget this, when we moved, we went into that little old house that was part log and part lumber.
Oh my goodness.
It was very disappointing to all of us when we moved in. And we moved slightly down a hill toward a creek.
Ooh.
And that we stayed at that little place. I loved that community because it was a community that was joined by 2 other communities, largely natives. When the first 2 years, we could sit on our porch, and the natives, the Indian type people, we could hear them do their powwow in the evening.
Kidding. Wow.
In the evening, your mom and we'd sit on the front and hear them do their powwow. That went on for about 2 years.
You remember what their tribe was called? What was out there? By any chance?
I don't remember I really don't remember. But I know that area was populated mostly with the Creeks.
Okay.
And the Choctaw.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember those 2 tribes, but there was a lot of different tribes. The Creek, the Cherokee, Choctaw, and there weren't so many of them, but that.
So, Before I forget, because I mean, since we just saw the movie, I'm just fascinated in whatever you remember about your granddad's life.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
he was a very forward person, though. Very forward. He was kind of a leader wherever he settled in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he was a speaker, and his trade was mostly a woodcutter.
But you said he's like self-selected preacher, right?
Yeah.
He just
yeah.
took that calling upon himself.
Yeah, basically. I think he started that when he was down in the area of Georgia and Mississippi.
Huh.
And then, so they recognized him, though, each place that he went. And I know S.D. Holmes was his home store there in Eufaula, Oklahoma. He went there for everything.
It's because they were... they would serve black folks, right?
That's really, I never understood whether they helped him to move to that area or not.
Huh.
But S.D. Holmes, I tell you, it was his place. He liked his store. Yeah.
So he was freed. I'm trying to do the math.
Yeah.
In his 20s, 30s. Does that sound right? Because I mean, if he lived until
now, I knew
1930 something, right? And he was in his 80s when he passed.
Yeah. Now,
and the Emancipation Proclamation was 1863 or 64?
I may have that wrong. I may have that date wrong.
Okay.
Because I didn't do much talking with him about that because I was so small,
right,
so young.
Right. Wow.
But, so.
And you said that he taught you songs and told stories and.
Oh, and stories, yeah. I used to sit on his feet. We had a fireplace in two of the places that we lived, and he'd cross his feet like that, and I used to sit right on those feet like that and listen to him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of those old stories? Anything stick with you, or is it just the fact of?
That's just not definitely, because the most he talked about was. Well, he did tell us the story that I think we all cried about, an escape story, how they would transfer their location from one group to the other. That's where many of these songs originated, I understand. That was, they were talking from one group to the other.
Oh.
And and so they became songs, and he told us a few things about how slaves escaped themselves along the bayou.
Oh.
And that was one thing I never did get a chance to see. I wanted to see. I had a chance to go to New Orleans, but that was when Jessica was graduating.
Oh, okay. Right. I remember her talking about that.
Yeah, we went there.
Because you took a trolley ride down there, right? And you saw flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember her talking about that.
Yeah, that was.
So he remembered, or he told about stories of escape?
Yeah, he told us stories of escape. How the different little groups would get together, or individuals, and hide, go this way. I just assumed that was the reason he went to Texas first.
Because he was moved.
Yeah, because he went to Texas toward the west, and then up into Oklahoma. Because Oklahoma was easily available from Texas. And I just assumed that part. So they went through Texas up in Oklahoma. Yeah.
Wow.
And Because
So
he did have he does have family. Did have family in West Texas. So that's what told me that they probably went from Georgia, Louisiana to the west and then up into Oklahoma.
Huh. Make sure I'm still capturing you. All right.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the deal.
So he said he was a carpenter or a woodworker.
He's what they call a woodcutter.
Woodcutter.
Yeah.
Oh, like out in the, like cutting down trees.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And
a lumberjack. That's
yeah,
hard work.
And making cords.
Oh, wow.
I remember one little incident while he was living with us. No, we weren't.
Hey.
You okay driving?
He wasn't living with us, but.
Thank you guys for waiting. I never really get a chance to get over this way.
So she's talking about her granddad. So hold on just a second.
Yeah.
Just while I capture this.
I remember one little incident. He was living with us. And he went out and did his wood cutting thing. And the guy paid my mother, left the money with my mother. Well, Granddaddy didn't know it. And that day the guy was driving by a house, that was in Huntsville. And my grandpa jumped off the porch and he's going to head this guy off. He had both hands up and my mama was trying to stop him. And he stopped the man and said, "You didn't ever pay me for my..." And they all called him Uncle Pete, white, black, anywhere.
Uncle
Indians,
Pete.
Everybody called him Uncle Pete. And
was he a big man?
No.
But he must have been like at least wiry strong or brawny or something, right? That's hard work.
I know, but he wasn't.
No
big fat man on him. He was.
No, that
he
I
was
believe.
Muscular, but no fat.
Wow. I'm gonna cut this session short, but because we're gonna take you to lunch, but.